The purpose of this video is to show you our sync tool, how to map fields between company and contact records, and then how to trigger the sync manually when you are making updates to a contact or company record. So first I want to talk a little bit about the sync tool. The sync tool was developed by our company, by Technology Marketing Toolkit, for our own Infusionsoft account. We noticed that Infusionsoft is very contact-centric, and updates to company records and then to other contacts associated with that company record aren't automatically updated with Infusionsoft inherently. So we developed this tool for ourselves, and then we decided to offer this to our members just to help make it easier to update when an address should change, phone number for a company, and so on. So you have access. You have free access to our sync tool, and during your onboarding process, your Sherpa initially set up the sync tool for you and performed that first initial sync for you. So I just want to talk a little bit about the sync tool and the fields that were mapped for you. So you do have login access to the sync tool. You might not be aware of your login credentials. You do have a login ID and a password that were generated for you. So if you would like to log into the sync tool portal and manage and add any additional fields that you wish to be mapped or tags, you can email our help desk, Infusionsoft@Technology Marketing Toolkit, and we can get you that login information. When we first started your account, we didn't want to bombard you with a lot of emails and with different login instructions. So we weren't hiding it from you. We just, since your Sherpa was working on it for you, we went ahead and did this for you. So what your Sherpa did is after one of the calls with you, you discussed which fields you would like to be mapping between contact fields and contact records and company records. So first of all, you have the ability to sync tags between company and contact records. And you might select tags such as your newsletter tag, other general types of tags. We don't recommend that you do map any campaign related tags. We'd like to keep those specifically for your contacts. But if there are any tag categories or tags that you would like to sync, so let's say that one person in the company has your email newsletter tag, and you would like for everyone in that company to also have the email newsletter tag. That would be an example of a tag that you might like to sync. We also have the ability to sync fields. And the way that this would work is that if I'm making an update on a contact record and I want to trigger the sync tool, it would then update that address or phone number change for the company record, which would then also go back down and update that information for all of the other contacts that are connected or associated with that company record. Only the fields that you map here will be synced when you do trigger our sync tool. So we have to let Infusionsoft know which fields. And we recommend that you, and you can see I've got a document here for you about the sync tool that goes along with this video. And you can see some basic information here and just some ideas of fields that you would want to map. And then we'll move on to how to manually trigger the sync tool. So basic information like address, city, state, zip code, those are types of fields that we do want to sync between a contact and a company. We wouldn't want to sync the email address because that individual contact is going to have a different email address with all the different people that are connected with that company. So that would not be a field that we would want to sync. So first we want to look at that basic information. Website would be another example. of fields we would want to sync. Another one that we want you to sync will be the person type. And so the person type is such as suspect, prospect, farm list, unconverted lead, vendor, and so on. On a company record, we call it company type, not person type, but the field values are the same for these two fields. So that would be another one. And then finally, any custom fields. What kind of information did you want to import upon that initial import about your contacts, such as do they have VoIP services with you, number of PCs for that company. So these are also some examples of fields you would that you would consider syncing between company and contact records. So once you have mapped these fields, so if I have a field on my contact record, if I have that custom field here, I need to also make sure that it's I have that custom field for my company records. And those field values, if we've got a drop down and so on, they need to be exactly the same as they were on your contact fields. Let's go take a look at where you can add those. So if you go to Admin Settings, we can set up custom fields for your contact. So this is generally where we initially create those fields, but you can also on this drop down select company. Okay, so if you have that field for your contact records and you want to sync it, you'll have to create it here. Just click on Go for company and make sure you have those fields built here as well. Okay, so that's just a little information about getting ready and deciding which fields you'd like to be syncing between company and contacts. Now let's talk about triggering the sync tool. The sync tool does not run automatically. It is not triggered automatically. So as I'm working in Infusionsoft, if I'm making some changes for a contact record or for a company record, I need to trigger the sync tool. And we can do that in two different ways. We can do that from the contact record and we can do that from the company record. And it's done in the same manner, just in a different location. So I'm just going to pull up a test contact record I have here. Okay, and just let's say that I'm working within the contact record. I'm going to actually open it up here. And let's say that Jeanette informed me that their address has changed. So I would want to go ahead and make that change here within the contact record. I'll make that update here and click Save. And then at this point, I want to update the company record that that this contact is connected to. And from there, anyone else that is associated with that company, I want the address updated for everybody. So triggering the sync will update the company record, and then we'll actually go back down to all other contacts associated with that company and update it there. So what you're going to do is go to this tab called Company Info, and your Company Info tab contains a field called Sync Contact Fields and Tags to Company. So what you're going to do is to trigger the sync. It's very easy. You just select Yes and click Save. Okay, now the fields that I mapped in the sync portal, so anything mapped here, is now going to go ahead and get updated on the company record and then back down to all of the contacts. So that's one way to trigger the sync tool. And just so you know that after, give it a short while, but this field will reset back to no or to blank, so that the next time you would come into this record, you could trigger the sync again. Now, sometimes the sync tool takes a little time. It goes into a queue. It depends on how many other syncs have been triggered and if, at what point your our sync tool will be able to get to your task. So give it a few minutes. If it hasn't happened, within a half an hour or so, you might want to just double check or, come back and check again to make sure that everything was updated correctly. But do know that there can be a delay. Now, from the company record, I can also trigger the sync tool. So this time I'm going to make the updates on the company record, and then I can trigger the sync tool from there. So let me just look for, okay, I've got a company record here. You're also going to look on the tab called Company Info. I believe mine's here under Sync on this one. But what you'll do is, again, find this field and set that field to yes, and then click Save. That will trigger the sync. So from the company record, this is going to make those trigger the sync and then update any contacts that are connected with this company record. So that's how you trigger the sync tool. If you have any questions along the way, reach out to our help desk, email us at Infusionsoft@Technology Marketing Toolkit, and we're happy to help. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the next training.